This episode of Wine with Wheater is brought to you by Mind Health and their annual conference, the Mind International Forum, Australia's leading conference for families and professionals supporting children with developmental differences, running since 2005. This year's forum features world-class experts, including Dr. Robert Melillo and Dr. Carlo Ronaldo, alongside experienced functional paediatricians exploring brain health, autism, ADHD, and child development. Join myself, Rita Shamoon, on May 1st and 2nd at the Australian Turf Club, in person or via live stream, for 2 days of inspiring speakers and practical insights. Use the code SHAMOON26 for 15% off your registration. Link is in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Wine with Wheater, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Wheater. I'm a paediatric speech pathologist and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Today on Wine with Wheater, I'm joined by Jordan Lee Ikitule, the founder of ASD Dads New Zealand, a New Zealand-based organisation supporting fathers raising children on the autism spectrum. Jordan Lee is a dad, an advocate, and a community leader who started ASD Dads to create a safe, supportive space for fathers. While rooted in New Zealand, his work and mission have inspired dads and families globally. He shares his personal journey raising his son Storm, the challenges and joys of parenting a child on the spectrum, and how he's building a community that empowers dads, families, and children alike. This episode is about fatherhood, resilience, and the power of connection, and how one dad's mission is making a real difference for families across New Zealand and beyond. Jordan, welcome to Wine with Wheater.
Thank you. What an amazing intro. Thank you. And thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. And that introduction is a testament for the unspoken work that you have done in your community to help raise awareness around ASD. Jordan, can you tell the listeners about yourself and the journey that led you to creating ASD Dads?
Yeah, cool. I'll probably start with I know the term, like the actual term for ASD, but I just wanted to let everyone know our meaning for ASD is Autism Solutions Driven Dads. So like
Oh,
that's
wow.
probably like a thing I like to get out the way because some people like have different beliefs on the term ASD.
Can you
But a
can you
little
say
bit
that
of
again?
Also, autism solution driven dads. So we're all about like creating solutions and really just practical support to a lot of the issues that we face. But a little bit about me. So I was born and raised in South Auckland, married to my beautiful wife, Jane, and we have 3 kids together. So my oldest child, her name's Cleo. She's 10. She thinks she's 18. But she but she is the best outlier. She's the best supporter, massive advocate for autism and especially for her younger brother Storm. So Storm is 7 years old. He's our special baby. He's on the spectrum. He's also got global development delay and he is non-speaking. He's still in nappies. He's such a wonderful boy. Like he keeps us grounded, he keeps us growing, and every day is a new day. And then our newest addition is our 7-month-year-old. That's my daughter, and she's named after me, Jordan Lee. Yeah.
Oh, busy household.
Yeah, very busy. Like one thing we didn't sort of look ahead to having our newborn was like Storm being so sensitive to certain hearing issues because he's had like a lot of
Mm.
surgeries gone wrong on his ears, so he doesn't
Mm.
like wearing any sort of earmuffs or anything. But one of his main, or actually his biggest trigger is our newborn crying. So that
Poor
has
darling.
been like, yeah, it's been a bit crazy in the household, but we're getting through it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, what led you to creating ASD Dads through your experience with Storm?
Just like a lot of pain, like a lot of questions, a lot of like, how's everyone else coping with everything? Like in New Zealand, we're so far behind when it comes to support and education around autism. So our personal experiences when Storm was diagnosed, it was just like pamphlets and like sort of good luck. Like there wasn't any clear transition to like where you can get support or what sort of support Storm can get. He wasn't able to get into a school in New Zealand for his autism, so he was still in daycare till he was 6 years old. And again, like I love what the staffing that we're doing for him at the time, but it just wasn't equipped for Storm, and we really
Mm.
struggled. So like every day we were just fighting, and my wife and I were running out of sick days because like we would get to that point where we really just didn't want to overstress him or stress ourselves out. So we were
Mm.
missing out on work, and then it was just like a chain effect. Like our bosses were sort of getting annoyed and like didn't really understand that because he wasn't in a school that suited him, or was causing all these issues at home. So yeah, there's just so many different issues, and I was like, one day I'm like, I really wanted to start like a support group. Like I would love to connect with like one or two dads, and yeah, one day after work I made a video and our first meeting, we had about 30 dads, and all of like mainstream media in New Zealand reached out to me and they just wanted like interviews, and people were like going a bit crazy, like saying they felt the same way and they've been waiting for something like it. And we ended up like creating a documentary here in New Zealand as well for ASD dads.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so I
How
was
can
like, it
people
was,
access that? Is it like on YouTube?
yeah, it's actually on YouTube. So I think if you just
Okay.
type up ASD dads and it'll come up with like yeah, the doco's on there. Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes of this episode for anyone who wants to listen. It's there for you to access. Jordan, you spoke about feeling you didn't have enough information, you didn't know how to go because you weren't led the right way. What was that like hearing from the pediatrician about your son's autism diagnosis?
It was like to be honest, it was such a mixed range of emotions because I was like the first to sort of notice with Storm something was a little bit different, and like when I was asking different people, they were just like, don't speak like that about your son. But I was like, this
Mm.
is just something different, and I had approached like the closest people to me, and they were sort of saying the same thing. Different family members who are quite like like my some of my family members are quite like religious, so they're like, don't speak like that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but I can like see it. And then the daycare was like approached my wife and I, and they're like, you might want to get your son checked. And I was sort of like, thought something was different. And yeah, once he got diagnosed, because it was just me that took him in, and
Mm.
yeah, I just remember like a whole different like range of emotions. But when I called my wife, we pretty much just both broke down, like crying on the phone, and then like seeing each other in person, and we're just crying. But it wasn't like it was just like a mixed range. We're like happy because like now we know how we can like proceed and start helping him properly. But just so many like different range of emotions because we had plans and stuff for Storm, and we had all these plans for our lives as well. But we sort of like everything in one hit was like, okay,
Mm.
we're gonna have to make all these changes, but we wouldn't change it for the world. Like with our son, like we changed all our plans, and yeah, we just love him so much. So we'll do anything for our boy, and it sort of falls into place of like everything we do in our community.
It's like you. had a sense of relief that you know what is going on
Mm.
with your son, but then
Yeah.
you're also grieving the
Mm.
childhood that you wanted for him. And so many
Yeah.
parents go through that. They want to
Mm.
teach their son how to play footy. They want to take their child to the park without any challenges. And like with what you
Yeah.
would happen with your newborn, having a new child, you
Mm.
didn't anticipate that that storm would be so impacted by the baby's cry. And so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
about it's about understanding you're allowed to feel these emotions because every
Mm.
emotion is valid, but
Yeah.
recognizing this isn't the path for Storm just yet. How can we create a
Mm.
better path for him and your family? And that's really challenging for many parents and many families as well.
Mm. 100%.
I want to talk about the impact of the diagnosis and how you gain support within your own Maori community. In the past, I've spoken to some individuals that work in New Zealand, and they said because of the stigma around autism or a diagnosis, it was hard to break the news to family members and get that support from them because they don't understand what it's about. Because as you even said a little bit earlier, your family's quite religious and they would say don't talk about your son that way, but it's not, you're not talking about your son in a negative light,
Mm.
you're describing the characteristics that are impacting him.
Yeah. It's been interesting, like sort of two sides. Like you have like the real hardcore supporters and you have like the ones who like truly understand. Um, and I find that like you have that side, but then you have this side that are just like so many different beliefs. And
Mm.
even in like our Pacific Island community, like I've had stories of like father and son having this massive disconnection because granddad believes that his son's wife or like there's been like an affair somewhere in their bloodline, and now your
Oh,
child's
really?
cursed. Yeah. So like this is
Oh.
the curse because of that bloodline. And I've heard things like autistic children being like taken away and force fed like pig's tongue or pig's feet because it's like in the islands it's some sort of like old cure. So there's definitely like that sort of extreme end, and then you have like the hardcore supporters. So
Mm.
yeah, it's interesting, but my take on it is more around like the education part. Like
Yeah.
I think one thing that I sort of push to our dads and also our mums, and yeah, shout out to our mums. We have a lot more mums than dads. Like in our private group, there's about 1,700 mums. Like 'cause our
Yeah.
mums just naturally outgrew our dads. Um, but yeah, going back to it, it's like I sort of really push our community to like really like focus on the education part and try focus on what you can control, because if you're
Mm.
gonna like focus on that, you're really gonna lose yourself. And we don't really have that much energy to like put towards that. Like we gotta have a lot of our energy on our kids. And yeah, I sort of just encourage them like just really try and educate them more if you can. And if they're not ready for it, then just don't waste your time, and you're just gonna get
Yeah.
into like a massive argument. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like control what you can control and just don't
Yeah.
deal with people that you can't, that don't understand, because
Yeah.
they're always going to come from their lens of ignorance and lack
Yeah.
of openness to understand, which is so hard and really upsetting that you're going through such a hard time navigating this world, yet people are so quite toxic, I would say, to the
Yeah.
situation. And you don't need it. You're right. You don't need that stuff.
Yeah. The toxic part is actually quite crazy. Like I have a
Mm.
PA that helps me with because I also have a clothing brand as well.
I
Ausim
want to talk
Kids.
about that later. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's like some of the comments have been like this kid should have been in the Holocaust, or like this, like there's some like wild ass comments. One day I'll sort of screenshot it and talk about it. But
That's
um
shocking.
yeah, it's crazy. And I had to like sort of educate my PA because it really got to her. And she's like, I can't believe like you can sort of carry on. But I was like, you really just have to focus on what you can control. And like yeah, but it's crazy some of the comments. I just pray I never
That's
walk
so
into these
sad.
people in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as they say, people's words or their behavior is about their current capacity that they're in. And so it's
Yeah.
never about you, Jordan, it's about them.
Yeah.
And that's really hard for a parent to understand when, as
Yeah.
humans, basic decency is respect. Basic
Yeah.
decency is just creating kindness to each other. And that just says so much
Mhm.
more about the other person than what your mission is about.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. With ASD Dads New Zealand, I've seen that you have a lot of programs as well as uh, things that you do to raise awareness. And one of them that I saw recently was Run for Autism. What's that about? Talk to me through that idea.
Oh, that started last year in April. So it was really around in our community, a lot of families can't afford speech therapy, and it's so hard to access here in New Zealand. So I wanted to run an event for like autism awareness, but also
Mm.
like sort of hit two birds with one stone. So with Run for Autism this year, we had it in four countries. So we were in Japan,
Wow.
Sydney, Utah, and New Zealand. But it's more like just honestly around awareness and like bringing our community together for an event. Next year, it's looking massive, but I just think like any sort of events like Run for Autism or there's a whole lot of like different events in the community
Mm.
it is a win for everyone. Um, but my biggest thing was honestly just awareness and bringing our community together so that everyone can physically see like you're not alone. Like there's so
Yeah.
much of us out there. So yeah, that's probably my biggest highlight with Run for Autism is like just seeing the different community come together. And I think the coolest part is hearing stories of like there were these really two close friends that didn't know they both had kids on the spectrum because like they just would never speak about it, and they both saw each other at the run and they were like, "Oh, why are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, my son's on the spectrum," and he was just like, "Oh, my son's on the spectrum." So yeah, it really unites everyone, and I feel like it as well. It brings everyone out of the closet. Like there's some
Yeah.
parents that are just not at that stage yet where they feel comfortable with it. But when they turn up to an event like Run for Autism, like this year we had around like 3,000 people in Auckland,
Wow.
and just seeing like the community come together, it's a nice feeling, like seeing everyone and so many familiar faces as well that I had seen that I didn't know, like people that I grew up with or people from high school, and yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome, Jordan. You should be so proud of yourself for creating such a wonderful support network for many families. And one thing that I've learned through Wine with Weta and through myself being a speech pathologist, being vulnerable opens vulnerability. And I
Mm,
really believe that many individuals are just carrying on with a mask or a way to
yeah,
perform because they're scared to show themselves. And
yeah,
as you said, so many families hide away because of the
yeah,
stigma and somewhat shame that people feel is
mm,
associated with a disability. And
yeah,
adding a cultural complex onto that or adding a cultural
yeah, oh,
layer,
yeah,
we're talking about generations of issues that we have to deal with. But the minute they see someone that's like you from the same
mm,
background, same
yeah,
community, living the same experiences that you have, it honestly just
mm,
peels back that layer and allows people just to be.
yeah,
And once they're in that safe place of belonging, of community, of somewhere that they're valued, magic can honestly happen. It
mm,
changes their perspective, it changes the progress for their child because they're more involved in the therapy, but it gives them that it removes that heaviness that comes with the diagnosis, yeah, and it allows them just to live.
mm. It's so true. I
Mm,
love that.
mm. It's interesting. Now, we spoke about Run for Autism. What's Have a Go?
Oh, have a go
What do you
day.
do with that? Yeah, what's Have a Go Day?
Our autistic have a go day. We normally do it every Christmas. So sorry,
Is that your son?
my dog. Can you hear?
Oh,
Oh, is it not coming through the
no.
audio? Oh,
No,
oh,
I
that's
can't
good.
hear. No,
Storm's.
I
This
can't.
is Storm's best friend. She's just.
Your dog's got FOMO. Oh, what a big dog.
She can see my wife
No, I just
walking
saw
around
the dog.
outside. So there's my
What's his
wife.
name?
She's doing her laps.
Oh,
Um,
sweetheart.
her name's Molly, so that's Storm's best friend. We got we
Oh,
originally got her for us, but them two just bonded. Yeah, she's such a good dog. Um,
no. So yes,
but
we were talking
autistic,
about have a
have a
go
go
day.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we called it. I called it autistic have a go day. We didn't run it this year because we had a few issues with our venue, but what we normally do is give out like 100 free presents. So last year we done 100 free presents for kids on the spectrum, and I'm quite ruthless. I just put myself on the video. I'm like, I want to give away 100 presents, like donate some gifts, and the community like really rallied together to give out kids like so many cool like
Oh.
Christmas things. And I was at an event the year before, and I was quite sad because I don't want to name like the hospital and stuff, but it was
Mm,
this charity that had done it for different disabilities. So it was like 1 hour they had this disability and the next and next, and I was like, okay, where's autism? And
mhm.
like someone sort of made a comment that it was a little bit too hard for because of the whole running scenario, like a lot of them are runners, and I was like, there's so many ways you can. So I was like, I'll
Yeah.
do my own one. Yeah, so basically have a go day is just letting them go wild. Like we normally have like about 8 bouncy castles, giant bubbles. We have face painting, free haircuts, farm animals. We have like a fire truck, uh, different games, and just all these different things. And it's all like in this big gated area, so like no one has to worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a cool like cool day and event. I'm just sad we're not having it in December this year, but
It's
um,
okay. You
yeah.
have another one, a bigger one, a bigger one.
Yeah, yeah, we got one planned in Jan, so a bigger
Nice.
one. But yeah, it's just really cool to see, and so many different like cultures there, and yeah, I just love seeing the kids. They get all like sweaty, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crack up. Like they just go wild, man. Yeah, we
I
love
don't
it.
think that people can, if people are watching this as a video recording, but most people listen to it as an audio. But for anyone listening, if you could just see Jordan's face light up when he talks about the initiatives that he's doing, and it just shows the power of what an individual can do when they're on a mission to raise awareness and help their child. And it's so humbling to see that you've somewhat taken your own pain or your own challenges
Mhm.
and created a beautiful mission that's a healing process for you, Jordan, but
Yeah, yeah,
unspokenly heals so many other families too as they
yeah.
navigate this confusing world of disability.
Mm. I love that you touched on that, like, because when people, I get a lot of in-person interactions where people are like just saying thank you and they're crying, and I'm like, I want to cry too, like, because like what you just said, like, this is healing me as well, and
Mm,
it's like a win-win for our community, but without me running these events, like, where am I gonna go, sort of thing. So
yeah,
it's really like you hit it right on the nail,
yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
definitely
I
healing
want
me.
to I want to connect you to an organization in Australia called Dads Speak. It's this wonderful gentleman, Atilio, who has organized a similar support network, but for Sydney's. But I'm going to connect you to, and I think both of you together can create magic more within Sydney, but to raise awareness for raising a child with autism. I'll connect you
Yeah,
with him.
yes, please. Yeah.
Mm.
Keen.
We spoke about the healing aspect. Um, what was it like? How, in that initial stages of when Storm was diagnosed, did you experience a sense of isolation, denial? How did you cope with that? What support network did you access?
Oh, I was quite a like solutions guy.
Yeah,
So I had like
explains
my
the name.
yeah, I had like my time to cry and get it out of the system, and then it was just like bang, like, okay, what do we have to do? What do I have to learn? How do we have to change our parenting style? Because how
Mm,
we were raising him at the time, it was like these expectations of like sit still, don't do this, don't do that. So it was real like all hands on deck, and I was just like accepted it for what it is. And I have spoken with other parents that have gone through like this massive denial stage, and just yeah, been really hard for them. But I think for me, just Yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but I was just really like, okay, let's do this, and I had just cut off all my plans and what I was doing, and I'm slowly getting back into it now. Like I
Yeah.
have like a big history with like dancing, and I still have a dance
I
company here
saw
in New
that.
Zealand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just more like, how can we really help? And I come from like generations of fatherlessness, so I was raised with a solo
Mm.
mom. I didn't know my grandfathers like from either side. So one thing for me with when I had my daughter and my son is like I'm real big on making sure that they don't have to go through like what I went
Yeah.
through, like those sort of struggles. And then I think with the autism, it really just hyped it up even bigger. So yeah, I was just real like, just how can I learn about this and where can I go? And that's where it was like, there wasn't much info
Yeah.
here in New Zealand. I was like, what do you do? So yeah, that's where
Yeah.
the group
Yeah.
comes from. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is so wonderful to hear how you've even shaped from your own childhood mishaps to then
Mm.
becoming, even setting up a whole new generation, right? Like showing them
Yeah.
what a father figure is, what a father figure
Mm.
does, and never running away or not going away, but you're here to stay to be consistent for your kids. And that in itself is very admirable. So well done, Jordan. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really don't want them to go through like
Of
what I
course.
went through. Yeah. No way.
Yeah. What's this clothing line? What's that about?
Oh, awesome kids. That's my, let's see, I don't know if you can
Is
see
that
it
is
in
that
the,
your logo? Or you need to stand up a little bit. So
oh,
autism
let me see.
advocate. Oh, look at that jumper. Autism awareness is just beginning. Acceptance is the goal. Nice.
I got to send you some of our gears.
Yeah, I would.
But yeah,
Oh,
this
is
is
there a
the
summer
logo.
range?
Yeah, we have a summaries. I actually sent them all out.
I would
So I'm
love
like trying not
some.
to be
I
too hot.
could be
But
your
yeah,
social media influencer.
yeah, I'll send you because we got like singlets, like women's singlets and men's singlets for summer. So I'll get your details and send it out to you. But
What's
um,
the label called?
awesome kids. So it's spelled like this.
Awesome. Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
AUSIM
Yeah, I wanted to
kids.
spell it
Oh,
similar
okay.
to autism.
Autism. Clever, clever.
Yeah, so I started the brand last year in August, and it went crazy, like so crazy. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But
I love it.
I really wanted to start it because with my son being non-speaking, and we had like a lot of altercations. Like sometimes we would just take him out to normal places like playlands and or trampoline parks. I done a video about how my son got kicked out of one in Brisbane
Oh, jeez.
um, because they just didn't understand. Like he was getting, yeah, it was pretty sad actually. But they were just trying to get him to do certain things. Like you can't bounce on that tramp. There's another kid, and like I was trying to explain to them, like he's got autism. He actually like he's trying. And what really got me very emotional was like he kept looking at me because he's like he was trying so hard. And then the final
Mm,
one was like there was this platform and he had to land on his bottom, but he was really trying to figure it out, and then the staff was really trying to help him. They're like, if he's not going to land like that, you guys, he has to leave. And I was just like,
mm,
we were really trying to work with him, and he didn't get it, but he was looking at me like so much like, and then he just like screamed the whole place out. He was doing really, really good. But
mm,
because he didn't get that one action, they're like, you guys have to leave. And I had to like sort of drag him out, and he was kicking and screaming, and everyone's staring at us. And I was just like, was such a hard time and hard moment to like have to do that to him, and especially when I could
mm,
see him trying. So
mm,
with the brand, it was really just to have like a layer of protection for him. Like his t-shirts say something else. Like this is more for like parents and family that want to advocate. But for my son, like it's his and kids like him, like the back will say something like autism awareness, and then the messaging might be, I may not be able to communicate with you, so please be patient with me. And just the
mm,
reactions from that alone, and seeing like people smile when they've like sort of judged them and looked at them like, oh, look at this guy, running. or doing things that may not seem normal in public, to reading his t-shirt, and then they just look at us and smile and say things like it's okay. On top of that, it's really created, like, I've never worn this out in public and not had someone stop me and have these like long conversations, and they just love it. So yeah, I launched it last year in August, and we've actually had interest from 14 countries, but we've had to like
Wow.
we've had to scale it back because I'm like, I've never run a clothing brand before. Like, it's really like I'm
Your
not
Louis
trying to.
Vuitton.
I'm not trying to like, just blow this thing up. I had to like just bring it right back to basics, and we just focus on New Zealand and Australia at the moment, and
Yeah.
making a few changes in the background. But people love the clothing. It's really basic, but it gets the message across.
Mm. I always say communication disorders, particularly autism, are like the hidden disability. They don't look like there's a disability because they haven't got
Mm,
different facial
yeah,
characteristics, or
yeah,
they're able to walk, most of them.
mm,
And just because they're not talking doesn't mean there isn't a disability. And so, what you've just done there is added a layer of
yeah,
protection for your child. So they're
yeah,
not faced with that ignorance. They're not
yeah,
faced with the stigma. Like, for example, the jumping situation, if he was wearing that t shirt, there could have been just
mm,
that sense of compassion to let him
yeah,
have another
yeah,
go or to help him jump in a different way. And you really raised something important. Your son kept looking at you for, like, Dad, help me. I can't do
yeah,
this on my
yeah,
own.
yeah,
But that wasn't enough for the team to understand your child needed help, and he was just
mm,
overloaded. His
yeah.
nervous system was overloaded, which then created him to have that meltdown.
Yeah, it was sad. I made a video, but I went on radio here in New Zealand and spoke about that,
Mm,
and like showed, like, when you edit a video and you show like him jumping, and then you show him like sort of working with the guy, and then and then him going out. But
yeah,
it was such a like, it was real sad. But then, like, you have
same.
people in the comments that are like, you should have done this, you should have done that. I'm like, man, these people,
They're
crack up.
Karens. They don't
Yeah,
understand.
they don't understand.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. Um, if you were to meet another father now, Jordan, going through the initial difficulties that you had, what would you tell him?
I always tell our dads, like, you're not alone. Like, you're not
Mm,
weird, you're not crazy, you're not like whatever sort of thoughts and emotions you're going through. Like, it's really normal, like, to not really worry about it. And I really just give them the time to speak, because what I've noticed with a lot of fathers is like they've held in so much to themselves, and like even
mm,
as far as like not telling their partner. So when they do get the opportunity to speak to someone who understands, like, there's so much crying. Like on our first ASD Dads meeting, we had like everyone cried. So, and we were all strangers, we were all strangers in the beginning and family at the end. But it was such a
yeah.
beautiful thing to just see everyone being open and honest about their fears and how they actually feel, and that they just don't know what the future looks like, and the stresses, and like a lot of dads just felt like it was hard for them to open up to their partner. So having a room full of like other dads that are all trying to navigate at the same time, it was such a beautiful thing. And I'd never seen that or experienced like 30 dads all crying together. It was
Oh,
like, it was beautiful. And I know like only people in our community will understand that. So yeah, that's how I normally start. It's just letting
yeah.
them know they're not alone, and get my little like 1 minute speech out, and then
Yeah.
I just let them go for like an hour. Yeah.
You created a space that's emotionally safe for them. And the
Mm,
reason why I say it's emotionally safe, many adults had a childhood where expressing their emotions was considered childish, was considered wrong. and was considered not safe. And you can imagine what that creates for young adults where they're feeling all these emotions, but they don't have the language to explain it. And so they shut it down. So, what you've done here, Jordan, is that you've taken generations of individuals and showed them it's okay to feel this because it's
Mm.
normal to go through
Yep.
this. Sit in the moment. We're here to listen. Yeah. And just be. And that, as simple as that is, firstly, it's so difficult for individuals to do that. But
Mm.
secondly, it is so powerful and life changing as well. And that shows how much your mission, Jordan, has created an impact, and you
Mm.
don't and how much your mission is going to continue to create an impact for many individuals. So I applaud you as a speech pathologist, because this is what we crave in our industry. We want our kids to thrive. We want our kids to be accepted, regardless of what is limiting them because of their diagnosis. So thank you.
You're gonna make me cry on the podcast, so.
No.
But yeah,
No, like we've
it's
never met before, but it's just so humbling. And I think as an individual, we don't hear these stories enough. And
mm,
it's this is what the human power is all about: being connected, connecting, creating that vulnerability, and supporting each other, and going to bed with your head on your pillow with so much peace knowing you've done good today.
yeah.
And Jordan, you're doing that brilliantly.
Thank you. Thanks.
For anyone that wants to know more about Jordan's mission, I will include all the links to ASD Dads, his clothing line, and any events that he does in Sydney or Australia and New Zealand. I know you have New Zealand ASD Dads in Brisbane. Is that right?
Yeah, our ASD Dads in Brisbane is led by Knox.
Okay.
And he's such a he's a yeah he is the guy in Brisbane. Like he's part of like the music industry there, and he's grew up in Brisbane, and he's such a big advocate. And we came across each other because his clip of him speaking on a podcast, like everyone was tagging me in it, and I was like, wow, I didn't know you had
I
a
think I
kid.
saw
And
that. Yeah, I saw that one. I
yeah,
saw that
he
one.
went like quite viral on that one, and I was just like crazy, and we connected, and then yeah, we launched the ASD Dads Brisbane earlier this year, and it's just yeah, I think it's such an amazing tool for a lot of dads, and I'm real big on like dads playing our part because I didn't have like my dad wasn't around, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like man, we really got to get behind
Yeah.
our partners, and it's always been like from what I've seen, and I still class myself as new to like the community, but I see a lot of like of our moms fighting, and like they're doing such an
Mm,
amazing job, but I always dream and just like our dads need to be like right beside our moms and showing that
yeah.
same energy. Yeah.
Amen. This is so true. Thank you, Jordan. 100%. Yeah, as I said, if anyone wants to contact Jordan, I actually feel you need to do an Autism Dads Sydney. I feel like New South Wales, it's not the state of origin here,
Yeah.
Jordan. You can't just keep going to Queensland. We have to we need to do something for New South Wales. So let's manifest that. If anyone's
Yeah.
listening and they want to contribute with Jordan to creating ASD Dads New South Wales, I will advocate that too with my Blues jersey on as well.
Yeah, we actually are. Like we're about to
Oh,
like
cool.
yeah, we're working on in the background. And we actually like I haven't announced this like on our own page, but we're going through like a massive change. Like we're not really going to be known as ASD dads. Um if someone
Okay.
sees us, I haven't announced, so I might as well just let you guys
When do
know.
you
But
plan to announce this?
I'll just say it now because someone will
Well,
see
this
it. But
episode won't be released till March next year.
oh yes, heaps of time. Yeah, so we're actually
Yep.
going to be known as AKC, which is Autism Kids Collective, because we people get
Oh,
confused with like ASD dads, but we actually have a lot more mums, like way bigger mums. We have ASD dads, ASD mums, we have Run for Autism, we have different workshops, different events. So for me, like I was privileged to speak in an event earlier this year, which was in partnership with Google. So all those guys were there, and I got to do like autism, like basically speak about the whole journey. And there were some massive names there. I was like, oh my gosh, like the creator
Google. That's
of
big.
Bluey. The creator of Bluey was,
The
that.
the the dog, Bluey.
Yeah, so he was the first speaker, and I'm
Oh,
sitting there like, oh my gosh. And then like everyone after him was just like these big names. But the reason why they wanted me there was because they were like, just wanted me to speak on the journey of starting a community with $0 and just using social media, and just like the heart behind, like, you can grow a community if you focus on like your why. And that's why
yeah.
they wanted me there. And I got to meet amazing people. Like, a ticket for that event was $900, and there was 600 people. So it was just like the top
Top
end of
tier.
like organizations in New Zealand, and some from Australia. But one of them, he's the CEO of Marketing Association. His name's John. He's got a child on the spectrum, and he's been mentoring me and helping me. And he's like, you really want to look at creating an umbrella, because ASD dads, to some people, can think like, oh, this is just dads. I'm going to end
That's just for
my
dads. Yeah,
researching
yeah.
there. Yeah. Whereas in reality, he's like, I didn't realize you do all these other things. So we've been working on it for like the last sort of 5 to 6 months. And yeah, we're going to launch before the end of November our new Autism Kids Collective, like, umbrella. And then everything sort of falls under that.
Nice. I love
Mm.
this. It is just shows the power of how the universe or the Holy Spirit can guide you when you lead with
Mm.
purpose, with when you lead with no expectations from a financial
Yeah.
aspect, when you
Yeah.
just want to lead with goodwill, the
Mm.
world becomes your oyster. And how good do you feel doing it, Jordan? You feel so
Yeah.
like rebaptized or something. Like you just
Yeah.
feel different. You feel different.
Yeah, I feel like I've done a lot of stuff in my journey, but with whenever it comes to like this type of work, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm serving my purpose. And
Yeah,
yeah, I just love doing it. It's
I
so
love
cool.
it. Well done. Well done. Before we finish up, Jordan, on the interview today, I always ask my guests this one question. If you were to be a better version of yourself tomorrow, Jordan, what word will you apply to yourself today?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say love.
Mm. What was
Yeah,
the word? Sorry.
love.
Love. Beautiful.
Love would be the word. That's the most powerful emotion and driver. So more love. The world needs more love
Yeah,
in the world. So
it does.
that's, yeah, that's my
And I
word.
loved this episode. And I love that we finally connected. And this episode undoubtedly share the goodwill of what you do, but help another father who is going through the challenges that you experience with his own son's diagnosis. But it's about raising that awareness and creating a community. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing your story on Wine with Weta, and I look forward to possibly meeting you one day and supporting ASD New South Wales too, and attending one of your events. Thank you,
Yes.
Jordan, for coming on Wine
Thank
with
you.
Weta.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, for everyone else, I will bring another episode of Wine with Weta to your ears really soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Weta. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.